Yes, everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Stephen Howson, and this is a tactical preview of United against Liverpool. Now, I did think coming into the game this weekend that I thought Jurgen Klopp is probably going to rotate in this game. But we saw a little bit of rotation. It wasn't heavy rotation, admittedly. We saw a little bit of rotation. No Firmino, no Salah against Burnley midweek as Liverpool managed to go down. And I think that the cracks are starting to appear a little bit there with Klopp. I think they're going to go quite strong, and I almost want to let them. And I don't want to lose the game, clearly, and I'm going to tell you how I think we can win this game, but I am going to be putting in a rotated United side because winning the FA Cup, as much as we all want to win trophies, unfortunately, in 2021, winning the FA Cup is not enough to keep you in a job as Manchester United manager. What matters is performance in the league. So I'm going to say, let's use a refreshed Manchester United side in this competition. Let's give some minutes to some people who need some. And let's try and do the best job that we can whilst giving players some minutes. The priority for Manchester United needs to be 3 points every single week in the league. So before we get into that then, United's last form in the last 3 matches. We beat Burnley. We drew to Liverpool and we beat Fulham 2-1. Next 3 matches on the back end of this: Sheffield United, Arsenal and Southampton. 3 massive tasks for United. Liverpool, they beat the Aston Juniors under 14s 4-1 in the FA Cup. They drew United and they lost to Burnley. They've also had 0-0s against West Brom, against Newcastle, and they've gone 1-0 down to Southampton. All that happened since they beat Crystal Palace 7-0. Their next 3 matches following United at the weekend: Liverpool, West Ham and Brighton. So I hope Klopp goes strong. I hope he goes strong. And if he doesn't go too strong, then I hope we fucking knock him out. Sorted. Liverpool's predicted 11. Similar to the league game, I think he's going to stick with his 4-3-3. He usually takes the cups a little bit less serious, although it seems like he's going to be putting out a strong team for this one, if the Burnley lineup was an indication. Alisson denied United 3 points in the league last week, and I think he's a certain to start, although Adrian has been Liverpool's cup goalkeeper. Trent is in absolutely abysmal form at the moment, but it is likely that he's going to start again. I think Robertson will also be expected to stay in. Matip looks like he's back to fitness, so I think it'll be him and Fabinho at centre-half, which is probably a little bit of a boost for them. And maybe they'll go for us a little bit more with that being the case. Henderson missed the Burnley defeat due to a slight knock, but I think he'll return alongside, admittedly, what's a pretty strong midfield with Thiago and Wijnaldum in midfield. If Henderson isn't fit, I think Shaqiri's back in, or potentially even Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think Salah and Firmino will be back in after being rested against Burnley, and I would expect Sadio Mane to start with them as well. The star man, listen, he's had a lot of grief, you know. But I think the reason that he's getting a lot of grief is because he technically doesn't suit the way Liverpool currently play. And I think his inclusion in Liverpool's side going forward will evolve the way they play. I'm not necessarily changing it fundamentally, but it'll evolve it to a slightly new style. And that's Thiago. He's not playing the way the Liverpool midfielders currently operate. He likes the ball. When you looked at him at Bayern Munich, he liked to receive it in space, advance it, and then find people in pockets of space directly in front of him. Liverpool's midfielders are used to win the ball back and then spread it wide while they attack in the wide areas. That's obviously counter to what Thiago's about as a footballer. But I still think he's a threat, and I think he's an excellent footballer with a very, very high quality about him as well. United had the better chances, I thought, at Anfield last week. We had to ride out a couple of waves of relentless pressure, and the man that was orchestrating those was Thiago. He simply sees passes that Liverpool's other midfielders don't, and I think he's going to be key to Liverpool's moving the ball around pretty quickly. I think going a little bit further up the pitch and being a little bit more creative is going to be a problem for us. United have got to stop him if they're going to have any level of success. Otherwise, they could literally pass us to death. So he's the one that we need to be watching out for. But let's get into my United 11 because I think that's going to be the main talking point of this today. And I've gone with, on paper, a 4-2-3-1. In reality, this might look a little bit closer to a 4-4-2 diamond or even a 4-2-2 if you that way inclined. I'm going with Big Dave in net. I'm going with Maguire and Lindelof for the the simple reason of the pace of Baye. I want to keep Baye fit as well. That's one thing. But the pace of Baye is nullified a little bit because I expect us to not really be too far outside our box. And I'm looking for Lindelof as an attacking outlet to be able to put the ball over the halfway line for the likes of James to run onto. I'm bringing Williams back into the team, and I'm giving Tellez a run out because I think both of those guys are desperately in need of minutes. I'm going with Matic and Van der Beek because, well, Van der Beek needs minutes, and I thought alongside Matic at Southampton, I thought he was very, very, very good, and he played out of the press really well, and I think he's a extremely press-resistant player. I don't expect this will be the 11. I think Scotty McTominay is almost a shoo-in, but this is what I would like to see and the reasons why I would like to see it. Juan Mata in the 10, doing Bruno's job. I think he's probably the luxury player in this side, and I wouldn't be surprised to see someone a little bit more functional played. Previously, this would be the ideal game for a Jesse Lingard, but it feels like he's so out of favour with Ollie at the moment that just feels like an impossible ask. Dan James on the right-hand side, give the guy some minutes, and Pogba on the left. But in reality, it's a bit of a roaming role for Pogba, and then Cavani up front. Now, why and how does this win us the game? Well, for United, I think one thing that we saw Liverpool do really well in the last fixture in the league last week was they dominated the midfield battle at times. So I want to congest the midfield, and that's why Cavani drops deep. You've got Juan Mata in there who's got neat, brilliant technique. Paul Pogba in there, you've got strength and ability with him alongside Matic, and then again you've got the trickery of Van der Beek. I think Fred and Scott McTominay, they did get bypassed far too easily, and it led to the dangerous front three of Liverpool being in there far too often. But I don't necessarily think that's a reason to not play them in this game. I just wanted to go with something different, and I wouldn't be surprised if Ollie doesn't go with something different and goes with what he sees as being tried and trusted. United can counter that by, I think, putting more midfielders in there, and I think having extra men in midfield is something that we could do. I think someone like Nemanja Matic would have been a real boost for United in the game at Anfield last week, because I think his positioning and unrattleability, is that a word? I've just made it up. I think is something that United really lacked. That sort of real positional discipline would have been absolutely spectacular, and that's why he's in there for me. And I think someone like Van der Beek, again, not the most physically imposing, but technical and intelligent, and you could ask him to do a decent man-marking job on Thiago, because I don't think Thiago's like the most impressive athlete the world's ever seen. So I would say getting Van der Beek on there, someone who understands what he's trying to do, would be interesting and would be someone that I would like to see try and put him under a little bit of pressure. And for me, that's how United do this. You exploit them by congesting up the midfield, and then you look to get in behind that defence. Now, I don't think United fully exploited the lack of centre-halves that they had, certainly when Henderson was playing, because Fabinho's a defender. He's not a centre-half, but he's a defender. And he's also a bloody good footballer, and a beast of a man. So I don't think it's a big ask for him to play centre-half. I was disappointed that we didn't exploit Jordan Henderson, because I don't rate him that much as a footballer. And I certainly do think that him at centre-half was a weakness that United could, should, and didn't exploit. So I think that if they can bring Matip into the team, they've solved a little bit of that issue, because I think Fabinho and Matip is more than good enough centre-half partnership. You just got to hope there's a little bit of rustiness in there, or a lack of communication from not playing together there that often. But this is why Cavani starts. If anyone can take advantage of that, it's Cavani. You put the ball in the box. The amount of space he will have in this circumstances versus, I don't know, Fulham, will be so vast, so different, and I would expect him to score if he starts. So that's what I'm thinking, my 11. I'd like United to win this. I'm taking it pretty serious. I'm just bringing in a couple of players for minutes, but also for very specific roles in this game. But I definitely have an eye on the league. I definitely don't deny that. And I don't apologise for that either, because Manchester United have a genuine opportunity to make some dents into this league. And I'd be disappointed if we threw that away for the chance of an FA Cup, which you need a lot of luck to win a cup. And you can fluke a cup, or you could be unlucky and not manage to win the thing. The league is where United need to put all our eggs. So I'd be very interested in seeing if we could do that. But let us know in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What's your 11? I'll see you in the next one. Laters.